Chapter 3. Navigation. Imagine that you are going to sail a boat across the ocean and you can take with you either a watch or a compass. Which one do you choose? The answer, of course, is a watch. You can use it to find south, as any outdoor person knows, but it will tell you something else, something equally important. This knowledge has saved many sailors' lives. The sun and the stars. If you can't tell how high the sun is in the sky at noon, or the height of the North Star, pillars, you know how far north or south you are. This fact was known to the earliest sailors. To measure this, Arabs used a base of wood tied to the end of some string. By 16th century, European sailors were using a similar tool, but made of two bases of wood, with numbers marked along the longer one. 1,000 years before this, Johann Philippons of Alexandria had described a new instrument, which could take better measurements. It was in the form of the circle and had a map of the stars on it. This was also an Arab invention. You could use it to find the time of day, the time the sun came up or went down, and the direction of different places, because it could tell you the direction of Mecca. It was popular in the Middle East. Although this instrument worked very well, it was quite expensive and in time a simpler form of bird. This was shaped like a quarter circle. It had a base of string hanging down. You pointed the top edge of the instrument at a star, then held the string in place and read the measurement. But even this was too expensive for most European sailors, and they continued to use the simple tool made of bases of wood. An important improvement on this was invented in about 1594 by the English Captain John Davis. He sailed a number of times to the Arctic and gave his name to area of water between Greenland and Canada. Because it was very difficult to look straight into the strong Arctic sun, he decided that the navigator should use the shadow of the sun instead. The navigator looked at the line between the ocean and the sky through the holes A and B. He then moved holes A and C until the sun shone through hole B. Then he added up the measurements on the two curved bases of wood. This new instrument became very popular. It gave better measurements and it meant that navigator didn't have to look straight into the sun every day and maybe go blind in one eye. Radar and satellites. Through the 19th century and into the 20th century, ships and later airplanes continued to navigate by using the height of the sun for north and south and watches for east and west. Better instruments were produced for checking the sun, but little else changed. The next step forward wasn't taken until the Second World War. Then radar was invented. An airplane could either fly along a radar signal or find its position from the strongest of two signals which were sent out from different places. Since radar signals traveled in straight lines through the curve of the earth limited its usefulness to a few hundred kilometers. When satellites were sent up above the Earth, this problem was solved. Today, the world is covered by 24 of these satellites and their ground stations. Now, a handheld receiver costing less than $100 can measure the travel time of a signal from them and tell you your position to within a few meters anywhere on Earth. Navigation has come a long way from base of wood on the end of a base of string.